From WNIJ Studios on the campus of Northern Illinois University, this is Sessions from Studio A. This week, it's part rock band, part musical, and completely unique as Isabel Dreaming joins us in Studio A for a performance recorded live. We'll get a day in the life of their character, Ella Clover, as they form the fictional band Scout 37. That's right, we've got a band inside of a band this week. We'll also talk with Isabel Dreaming about their album A is for Ella and the storyline throughout that, and about the influence of theater in their music. It's Isabel Dreaming coming up this hour on Sessions from Studio A. This is Sessions from Studio A on WNIJ. I'm Spencer Tritt, welcoming Isabel Dreaming to the show this week for a unique performance that blurs the lines between a live band and musical theater. They've created an entire fictional universe for their character Ella Clover and her band Scout 37. In 2021, Isabel Dreaming put out their album A is for Ella, which gives us a day in the life of that character Ella Clover as she forms the band. We'll hear part of that album this hour, and I'll also talk with Isabel Dreaming later on about their background in theater, and more about the storyline that we will hear unfold in the next hour. So without further ado, it's Isabel Dreaming, recorded live on Sessions from Studio A.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to the premiere radio debut of Isabel Dreaming. This broadcast is brought to you by Ella O's Cereal. Remember, the only way to start your day is E-L-L-A. And now, introducing tonight's entertainers. Isabel Dream as Ella Clover.
Oh, hello.
Catherine Kroll as Annie Kowalczyk.
Hey.
Kara Schultz as Syndrome Mello.
Hi, what's up?
Danny Connolly as Dalton Clover. Hey there. Kasha Donfox as Madeline Clover.
Well, hello.
And introducing Missy Preston as Cloudy.
On guard.
And in the background, Dream Team, Joseph Maderi on keys, Mark Muniz on guitar, and Joey Butler on drums. You feeling good, boys? And now, without further ado, we set the scene in rustic Bearton, USA, for a day in the life of Ella Clover.
Ella Clover.
For over and over.
Ella Clover,
Hello.
Ella Clover.
For over and over.
would you like to look like this?
Hello, world. This is Safe Space Sound. It's your girl, Ella Clover now. No need to be blue or a light pink hue, or fill up a whole party for you.
Did someone say in the key of A?
Kick out the sour notes when you play, like stay back high for folks with rabies. I'm triple 30% water, baby.
C-L-O-V-E-R. 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 Clover. For over and over.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want to go see a show and stay out for too long. I want to write in wet pavement without getting caught. Want to buy and try things but not need a job or smell as good as a sharpened pencil.
That stuff's sentimental.
Want to meddle with the metal on my metal resolve because I'm a mama phone and adult. Hello? Oh, hi, Mom. Yeah, no, today's the day. The radio show, it's actually, we're doing it right now. Okay, I love you. We gotta go. That I lost it, I found it. Round 2, break the fourth wall like I'm looking at you. That's right, dear listeners, you are listening to WNIJ, and we've got a special offer for you. Our 17th caller today will get 2 free tickets to this Saturday's Scout 37 concert at Bearton.
C-L-O-V-E-R. C-L-O-V-E-R.
The phone lines are now live. And our representatives are waiting.
Clover for over and over. C-L-O-V-E-R. 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 Clover
If
for
you
over
got
and over.
vacancy for L-O-V-E-R, crown your life, you will see L-O-V-E-R, the rainbow night. Say how well you know me, like the girl from the poster. Try it out.
C-L-O-V-E-R. Clover for over and over.
Each morning my mother, with all of her power, would leave to tend to her patients.
Don't burn the house down.
And I'd stay with Dad and sit by him as he wrote and illustrated.
Look, it's an elephant.
And then he'd make dinner, and Mom would come in and they'd smile so big and so winsome.
Oh, look what you
And
did.
it was right there in the small
Brussels sprouts
town
for
of
Brussels
Fairton that they passed on their wisdom.
Make your bed and lie in it. Don't mess up all the sheets.
So don't make your bed, make up your mind to go straight to sleep.
Lie and say you slept there and then sleep it off instead.
Two wrongs will make it right, you'll love right with a better bed. And if it's happily, you're after my darling. Don't wait forever if you're clever, it's falling. There's plenty of fish in the barrel, and the dead ones go with the flow.
Screw the shoot your suitors if they're cold, let them go.
But if you shoot the breeze instead of where that fish is at,
Fishing at the wind if you catch and release my draft. And if it's happily, you're after my darling. Don't wait forever if you're clever, it's falling. Everybody hurts,
but the words can never do it. So break the sticks and stones, you know the wolves can blow right through it. Wolfish words are nothing when you're rubber and they glue. Nothing hurts you if you let it go. Don't go feeling blue. Through that nothing to a page, through the stony words upon it. Through the page against the wall and hang up those phony phonics. If that's a heavy load, this happy home will get it weary. Divided houses fall, but I'm still standing, sharing. And if it's happening, you're after my darling. Don't wait forever if you're clever, it's falling.
there's calm before the dawn.
And there's dark before the storm.
Between those cumulonimbus lines, you'll find your form.
Half those lines are silver.
And half of them are gold.
You just need something borrowed. Or put
That book on hold. And when it's family, you need for anything,
we'll be here always. Just you call and you will see.
That's probably nothing. There was an echo in here. Oh, wire's going, eh? Ella Clover.
Annie Kowalczyk.
Do you want to form a band?
I think we just did.
Bursting at the seams, life is such a dream. Fast and like a master when I'm out there finding adventure. Laughing 'cause I'm feeling good, biking round my neighborhood. Watch out world, 'cause I'm that girl and I am tough as nails. Woo! Okay. I'm the best boss of my bus. I would never ever cuss. You don't have to buy things if you try things like climbing fences. Rock slide! I am a tiny marmoset. Ooh, 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 ooh. You won't believe the crazy things I did to do. You can put me in your pocket, but you cannot keep me locked up at the pretty little bitty itty middle city zoo. Yeah, I'm too much for you. Ella and Sweet Annie, it's your plan, yeah. Scout 37. Molto bene, mio dude.
Facsimile.
This is Sessions from Studio A, and you just heard Isabel Dreaming, performing live in Studio A, and I'm here now with Isabel. Thanks so much for coming out to CALD today.
It was our pleasure.
This was an incredibly unique performance. We haven't had anything quite like this today. It was almost like blending the lines between a concert and a musical and a story, almost all in one. But before we talk about that, let's get a little of your background. Isabel, where are you from?
I grew up in a suburb of Chicago known as Indiana, and I moved to Chicago after college, and I've loved it. It's been like 5 or 6 or 7 years now.
Take us back even further. When did you first start getting into songwriting? When did this begin for you?
Yeah, it was. So my sister was actually technically the guitarist at first. I think we were like 12 years old each, and I started on drums and I didn't like that, and I started on piano and I didn't like that, and she played guitar and didn't like that, so she gave up guitar. I took guitar, and I loved like the Beatles and stuff, so I very quickly took to guitar, and it's been 18 years now.
And talk a little bit about kind of finding the sound, the style of this group. Like I said, it's super unique. Were there any like influences that you kind of took with you into this? How did you start finding the sound of Isabel Dreaming?
Yeah. So in college, I ended up majoring. People think I was like a music major, and I studied a little music, but I ended up doing theater and English double major, which I think probably explains a lot of what you just heard. But so there's a lot I took from that, whether it was like literal theater practices, like in the Want song, about assigning intention to each sentence in a script, or just the general histrionics of having fun in music, or as one of my students puts it, like just stopping in the middle of a song to talk, you know?
Yeah, so you have a theater background. That's fascinating and definitely explains some of this music we're hearing today. Tell us about incorporating these dialogues, these stories into your music.
So in college, I recorded myself in college and did 2 or 3 EPs that thankfully no longer are findable on the internet. And then I kind of started forming the idea of a 4-part concept album series, kind of detailing, kind of based around the seasons, but also the characters embodied by the seasons. So I kind of did a Star Wars and started with what was technically the third one after college, and then went to the fourth one. And then what we're hearing today was from the first one, A is for Ella, where it's kind of spring again and everything rejuvenates. And thus far, I am still deep at work, slow at work for the fourth and final album, the summer album.
Yeah, so A is for Ella. You released that back in 2021, and we heard some of that today. Talking more about the theatricality here and the concept. Give us a little of the kind of overarching story that's happening here, and also tell us about your character.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ella Clover is one of the characters kind of from the musical universe who pops up in...
you called it the Cloververse.
The Cloververse, yeah, exactly. And so I kind of wanted to paint this, I think to some extent, all of the albums are based around the idea that the world could be perfect if the pieces were in the right place. And it has different results in each album of what that might mean or look like, but having that total control over the album lets me explore. And so for Ella's universe, Verton USA, where she kind of grows up, it's kind of just a day in the life, but also maybe 18 years in the life of Ella Clover being born and raised, and an exploration of how we remember our parents and how we make our friends and how we fall in love. And today we played the first 8 tracks from that album just to give people, so you got to listen to the back half to see what happens afterward. But
for the rest of the story.
Exactly.
What were some of the things you liked about doing, musical theater maybe, that you sort of brought into this project as a band? Thinking about a band as a different, entity than like a theater ensemble.
Yeah, and it changes. The show changes every fortnight, and we were so excited for this session too that we could, with live shows, you can't really bring 7 people on the road unless you're Arcade Fire, but to have a chance to kind of turn it into a little more of a stage play or change it, I guess I kind of think of myself as a performer first and foremost, but not just in a live show setting, but in a writing setting, and the idea that, when we're recording, we're telling people and showing people, cherry picking kind of what we want to say and which takes we want them to hear and how we want to present ourselves to the world. So even live show or album or Studio A session, kind of acknowledging that and playing with the possibilities of each, I think, is something that I really try to focus on.
You are hearing our interview with Isabel Dreaming on Sessions from Studio A, and we're hearing a performance recorded live in Studio A from their concept album A is for Ella. You can find that on Spotify and Apple Music, and check out more from Isabel Dreaming on Instagram and Facebook. Behind-the-scenes video from this performance can be found over on WNIJ.org, along with this full episode. Stick around, we have more coming up from Isabel Dreaming's performance in Studio A, and more from our conversation. This is Sessions from Studio A. Welcome back to Sessions from Studio A with Isabel Dreaming performing their concept album A is for Ella live in Studio A. We're also talking with Isabel Dreaming about the storyline throughout the album and about incorporating their background in theater into this project. We'll talk more in a bit, but let's get back into the performance. This is Isabel Dreaming, recorded live on Sessions from Studio A.
So
everybody else is leaving. Feel it tugging on my sleeve and said to. Lock the front door, hang around in this candy store, say do. Funny stomach when I felt it, how the outside's melted and fused. This could even up to trouble. Tonight my thought bubbles around you.
We need a bassist.
Someone amazing.
Someone who can do extra singing and playing.
Someone in town.
To play things slow down.
Someone with a car who can drive us around. Annie, get ready and rowdy and really restless. I know the girl who'd be the bass bestest. How about a little show and tell? Oh, you simply must meet Sindra Mello.
Did you just say bass bestest?
Sindra Mello has the money for a new pair of shoes. Sindra Mello's never, ever gotten the blues. Sindra Mello falls asleep in the middle of class, wakes up for the test like... Sindra Mello's got a lot of friends who tag along. Sindra Mello is her left from her right from her wrong. She's a smart, alarmingly charming adult with a car and a heart with a jar full of salt. Sindra Mello would be absolutely great in our band.
Sounds like you should get her.
No, you don't understand. Like Sindra Mello's picking yellow and an aquamarine. Sindra Mello put her sneakers in a washing machine. Sindra Mello isn't picky when she's picking her lunch. Sindra Mello's got a time turner. Sindra Mello makes a million and she doesn't know how.
Hey, you get hungry?
Not now. Okay. Sindra Mello once fell down a whole case of stairs. Sindra Mello could meet aliens and not even care. Sindra Mello's tattoos says the day that you'll die. Sindra Mello's two measures and she knows how to fly. She's the greatest ever bassist Polonaise today. And a bigger, better, ball power anyway. For this band, Sindra Mello's at the top of the list.
Okay, let's get her.
No, but listen to this.
Ella, she sounds awesome. Why don't we just ask her to join?
Okay, I'll do the talking, you do the knocking.
Hi, what's up? Are you two selling cookies or something? Ella Clover.
For over and over.
And who's your friend?
Friend and drummer, we're in a band.
An awesome band.
Oh, cool. So what is it? Just you two?
Oh, actually, we need a bass player, third member who could answer our prayers.
Sure.
Someone we would owe like a million favors.
Yeah, someone
Okay.
so cool we could never repay her.
Someone with style and grace and flair.
Someone with a car.
Nope, no way, never.
That's Sindra.
I told you I should have just stood on your shoulders in a trench coat.
Listen, I'm taking classes you can't even imagine. I haven't played that bass since I was like 7. I've
What?
got doctor's appointments and groceries to buy. I've been working part-time at the TCBY. I'm not hanging out with a kid I used to
Then
babysit.
do it for Annie.
I don't know who that is.
Don't you remember all the fun that we had?
I remember weird advice from your mom and your dad.
And the crazy dance parties and the food you would nuke in the microwave to make it explode?
That was you.
And the talks that we'd have and the secrets we'd share?
And the VHS. Wait.
And the truths or the dares?
Clover Child, don't you say
How
it.
you pulled out your hair over
Oh.
William Bleecker who'd very unfairly stolen your heart?
So when do we start?
All right, folks, give it up for the totally tubular Annie Kowalczyk on the drums. And the newest addition to the band, the incomparable, never terrible, Sindra Mello on the bass. Sindra, you're supposed to take a solo.
How's this supposed to know that?
And on guitar, the sweetheart of American USA, yours truly, Ella Clover! Don't make some noise for Scout 37.
Fire merge.
Your favorite band and burning obsession.
No, you got the trial shirt.
Scout 37 is the ultimate craze. Scout 37 will impress you for days. Scout 37's gonna come to your town and then leave you amazed. Yee-haw! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Right here.
Okay.
Woo-hey!
So why is it called Scout 37?
Cause we got hot licks like Volpix.
Rock on.
Oh, God.
It seems like having your music set in this universe, this kind of made-up universe, lets you really play with different genres and styles.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of broke down the album mentally when I was writing it in sections of characters. So you have the songs where the parents are appearing, or you have the garage rock band Scout 37 that Ella forms, and that one I really wanted to be, microphones are peaked and it's just loud as anything. And you have some more kind of magical pieces where the character Cloudy shows up to really differentiate the sound so that since the album was all in the key of A, and that was a concept I was playing with, I wanted the songs to still sound very different while still remaining in the key of A and kind of having that hum throughout the album.
What was it about the key of A that inspired you to make the whole album in that key?
Well, it was an interesting challenge, and it's very easy to write on guitar in A, but to also play with that. Maybe it's A minor or it's A major, or we're tuned down, so it's technically the C chord shape. The guitarists out there know what I'm talking about. But it was an interesting challenge to see what would happen if the whole album kind of hummed at that frequency, and then, like I said, to challenge myself then to differentiate the songs in other ways besides just changing the key.
And is that why the title is A is for Ella?
That's one of the reasons.
Tie into that?
Yeah. And truthfully, if we're really geeking out here, I was still designing this 4-album series when iPods were still a thing. So I really wanted the albums to chronologically present in order, and that would mean they would have to be alphabetized. So A is for Ella had to be first and had to start with A, despite the fact that I am aware, it has come to my attention, rather, that Ella does not start with the letter A.
Talking about the album some more, what was the production process like behind that, recording those songs?
Oh boy. You're taking me to a very dark time because I had the album maybe 20 or 30% written in March of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the production and recording and writing process all happened in my parents' house in Indiana. I moved back for a year, and of course, COVID was a drag, to put it lightly, but it was actually kind of perfectly what I needed as a songwriter, even though it kind of sucked being under quarantine for a year. Being able to have a kind of a home studio at my disposal and be able to write every night, when my parents go to bed at 9 p.m. and I'd just stay up and tie up these songs, and then during the day I would record and be able to A-B stuff and try different stuff out. Yeah, and I didn't quite know how the album was going to end, and then after I moved back to Chicago and I looked back with the album being finished, and I was like, oh, she leaves home and moves to the big city at the end of the album. She is sick of living with her parents. I see what happened here.
Some of real life made its way into there. And you sort of teased there that the 4th installment, the next album is underway. Tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now in this next installment.
Let's see how to describe it. It's going to be called Dive Bomb Rising, and it focuses around a character that actually in the very first album has gone missing at the very start of the album back in 2017, and the main character of that album, Birdbrain, is looking for this lost person, Dive Bomb, this lost kind of rock star idol of his. And so it's a really interesting spot to me because I know where this last album, A is for Ella, ended, and I know where the very first album, Birdbrain, begins. So I am trying to kind of connect those dots in a way that makes sense for whatever the heck I set myself up for 7 years ago.
Do you write all these dialogue parts out too? Those are all written by you?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to sneak in puns in there thematically as much as I can. Yeah. So like Scout 37 plays a lot with Pokemon, and they connect over Pokemon numbers, and Annie in the album is named Akira Iwate. Last name means rock hands. So in the Japanese prefecture of Iwate, their unofficial mascot is Geodude, because Geodude's name was kind of Iwate as well. Stuff like that. So, and Cloudy and Ella are constantly referencing Shakespeare plays, which is kind of a language they mimic in turn from Ella's parents, who also use wordplay as a love language.
They say all's fair in love, but I'm wary this means war. If I say farewell to fair, will civil this remain? With ease does fair so swiftly change our form, but call you me fair, that fair again unsay.
Godspeed, fair Helena, whither away? To retreat, call ye me fair, to delete that fair again unsay.
I'd more quickly call you scary or terrifying display.
To compete, how you say your stultifying display.
Who are you?
Ah, okay.
To make my unslay. I'm a deep-seated fan in any crew person who tries their hand being the in-view person. To give my congrats, I thought to save your debut.
What is it you want?
That's what I'm asking you. What do you want?
Well, to explain, all the stage is my world and the player's my problem. We're missing some props. I want to know where they dropped them. To obtain a couple swords, some boots, some mustache.
To disdain D'Artagnan, you cheap piece of trash, and to detain the thief, you were saying their lines.
To regain their props, you gotta get in their minds.
To maintain.
Obligation.
To profane.
Through oration.
To lie in vain.
I was trying echolocation.
What do you want? I see a hunger hidden down under. I'm your confidant. You seem devoted. I want to know, what do you want? To compliment, Demetrius loves your fare. To drop laments, oh happy fair. To supplement, your eyes are lodestars and your tongue sweet air, more tunable than lark to shepherd's ear, when wheat is green and hawthorn buds appear.
Sickness is catching.
Oh, were favor so, yours would I catch fair Hermia ere I go.
To infer, you're an actor, and of course you have thoughts.
You recognize me well, I must give you props.
To dignify, you all seem the same backstage. To FYI, you actors should start acting your age. But to identify, you have the room at the end. What kind of name is Cloudy? Not to offend, but comprehend, the props live by your room, and TBH, I notice there's something tucked behind your waist. So what do you want?
To contend, if it's behind me and wasted, it's probably my time. They should have you committed.
Like you did to this crime.
To pretend, yes, I steal, I'm a thief of bad acting.
To apprehend, you're under arrest for distracting. But to defend your honor, you were all set to duel.
Unless you make amends, Robin, that might still be in view.
To resist.
All your crap.
To blacklist.
You'll never act.
To let this untwist.
You better stop to ask.
What do you want? You've got a secret, I can see it.
If you need a foil, I'll be it.
You're so nonchalant.
You've put on quite a show.
It's time to tell, I gotta know, what do you want?
To coalesce, I think that we've both been blindsided, so acquiesce to a gag order, or find that I add the S to wordplay and let things turn violent.
To Shay, I suppose I'll stay silent. But to insist you're entrapped, I enlist you to talk. It's for ticking your prac. You're a fighter at heart.
To persist with this nonsense deserves no response. To dismiss with a laugh. Ha 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 ha.
Well, I know how to be tough, and you could teach me to act.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can. You can fight.
No, I can't. It's not right.
Come on, man. Let's abandon stage fright. Take a stand. It's just us in this theater tonight. So what do you want? Come on, let's do some sparring.
On the stage on which you're starring.
Let's start our détente. I'll teach your staring daggers.
And I'll make you an actor.
My ear should catch your voice.
My eye, your eye.
My tongue should catch your tongue's sweet melody.
Were the world mine, Demetrius being baited.
The rest I'd give to be to you translated.
To be translated to me.
To translate to you. To transfer my meaning. To transport my view.
To transform completely so I'd be like you.
That's what I want.
You are hearing Isabel dreaming on Sessions from Studio A this hour. Thanks for joining us, and stick around for more coming up after the short break. You can find more from Isabel Dreaming on Instagram and Facebook at Isabel Dreaming, and find the album we're hearing this hour, A is for Ella, streaming on Spotify and Apple Music. They also have videos out that you can find on their YouTube channel. Stick around for more music and conversation coming up here on Sessions from Studio A. Welcome back to Sessions from Studio A and our live recording with Isabel Dreaming. Let's get back into the storyline we're hearing from their concept album A is for Ella. And in this next one, our main character, Ella Clover, visits the orthodontist. And boy, there is a finale on this one. It's Isabel Dreaming, recorded live on Sessions from Studio A.
Cavity for every time they told me
Money could buy happiness, my smile would be golden.
with Swan Sights 2020, open up those pearly gates.
Now that new frown will come on down, we'll set that lovely smile straight. And when it stands in street, face that breathe instantly. We're both nearby, just close your eyes and count to
Why would God let sugar taste so sweet if all it does is give you cavities? Oh, how was I to floss each week? Why would teeth not go to the same place? Please don't meddle with your metal in my face. Not orthodont's cold embrace. Please, I'm on my knees. I mean, I'm in the chair, but figuratively, you ask me nothing. I'm not crushing, and hand in mouth, it's rather muffling. Doctor, no!
Hey, Ella, you're late.
Dang, you look exhausted. Did you, get up with the sun? Did something huge happen that rendered you speechless?
Are we deaf from not wearing earplugs? Annie, please tell me, do I need closed captions or is there an elephant in the room?
There's something I would dub a silent elephantum, but I'm not sure what killed it. I remember Ella saying she was due for braces, plus probably cavities from the way she eats candy.
I remember those. Ugh, I hated those things.
Well, I'm on the drums. I guess you'll have to sing.
No way. Can you not speak guitar to me?
Harmonics. She's saying that we gotta work in harmony. Just sing about bass.
That's a door we can close.
Then sing about feelings.
Yeah, I don't have those.
Then complain about class.
Oh great, I'll just gush about life as a serf within medieval Russia.
Yeah, a surf song would be perfect.
Wait, hold the homophone?
You don't hold it, you surf it.
Feudal system.
Radical.
Catherine the Great.
Surf, surf. Surf, surf. Pink 10.
permission from your landlord. This is what it was like for 75% of Europe's population during medieval times. Serfs labored in their lord's field in exchange for a small piece of land called a fief. Serfs grew crops in their land to sell to hopefully buy back their freedom.
Nodding off in class, that's a board you can serve. Yeah, you want a different class, that's a war on your turf. Bang, bang on the castle, what you whining about? When you play the game of Thrones, you either win or you wipe out. Carpe diem and the means of production aren't there. They're all the chickens, yeah, don't have a cow. Yeah, they burn your bunga rule for a chunk of the bunga, but you just think they're really castle. Who's cowabunga now?
One of my favorites in the set was Surf's Up. Surf spelled S-E-R-F. Talk a little bit about that song, Surf's Up. I love that one.
Absolutely one of my favorite homophones. And I will say, again, I mean, you remember quarantine. We were all daring ourselves to go a little crazy, I think. And so there were some songs that I did not think would make a whole song of like a surf rock song entirely centered around medieval Russian serfs, or the Parents song kind of being built on these, it's just all malapropisms and these weird twisted phrases that we almost half recognize. So there's a few songs in there like that. But the surf rock song was interesting because I knew I wanted the album to have some room to breathe, that the listener could breathe and not hear my voice on every single track, because there's so many words on a lot of these songs. So to have a nice instrumental break or a joke song or a song where you're hearing Danny and Catherine play my parents rather than hearing my voice nonstop was always a really interesting challenge, and another way to diversify the key of A.
I love how you play with language and dialogue. And you mentioned you majored in theater and English. Have you ever done any writing, like prose or writing your own play or musical or anything like that?
It's interesting. I mean, I guess I definitely think of, especially A as Frella, as my own musical.
I would too. I would say.
And I occasionally write essays, or I'll write other stuff, but music is kind of, like I said, it's been, 18 years of playing guitar. And so it's just a language that makes more and more sense, that I can build more and more with every year. And theater wise, I got out of college, and it's a medium that I think is much more tricky to be accessible. You have to put in a lot of hours to be in a stage play production for very little money, and then you have to try and turn these tickets to usually kind of a middle class audience. And I saw music was just a little more democratized, a little more DIY, and you could very much forget your lines on stage without so much spotlight pressure on you.
That's a good point. What is coming up next for you as we get into the spring and summer of this year? What's coming up next for Isabel Dreaming?
Oh, that's a good question. So we did a little basement session, which was an interesting project of just a song we like to play live, of a mashup of Oh Darling, Earth Angel, and In the Airplane Over the Sea. So that was just something we were messing around with in the basement, and we shot from different angles and played with the lights. And so it's been a process of editing and mixing and everything, but hopefully that will be out by the time people are hearing this.
Okay, very cool. And that will be out on YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I think as a single as well on streaming services. It'll be called Oh Earth Aeroplane.
Love that. And where can people find more from you, more of your music, and to check out this live video when it's out? Where can people check out more?
So we're on the same thing that all the millennials are on. None of the Gen Z. I'm not on TikTok. I'm too old. But Instagram, Facebook. We have a website. I have to rebrand because I know I just changed the artist name, so I'm still figuring out what that means for domain names and stuff. But the website is also on our Instagram, and the YouTube is always fun to play with. We got a lot of good content on the Isabel Dreaming YouTube page of just breaking down stuff behind the music and doing some live sessions and stuff. So we got some good stuff.
Anything else you'd like to plug or add that we didn't mention before we close out here?
I can keep talking about this, as much as you need, and mention that Ella has synesthesia, or that Ella's parents wear, blue and yellow because Ella's color is green, and so it's a mix of them, or, I can geek out about this for hours, but I would just say thank you to all my listeners.
Well, thank you, Isabel. And Isabel Dreaming, great set, and this was an absolute blast of a show. This was a fun one. Thank you so much for playing in Studio A.
Thank you for having us, Spencer. It is always a blast.
You've been hearing from Isabel Dreaming this hour on Sessions from Studio A, and their concept album A is for Ella. We've still got time for one more here before we close out the show, so let's hear one more from that album and the story of Ella Clover. It's Isabel Dreaming on Sessions from Studio A.
Am I dreaming?
Are you sleeping?
I had a good day. Don't ruin it.
Am I supposed to say goodnight?
There's no point now with that moony look in your eyes.
Surely you mean loony.
The way you wax poetic or wane like you're not worthy.
And Alice wonders why she's cooped up in a nunnery. Oh well. A quick hit from the meter stick will drop your words in line.
Bro.
And what you say will give away that element surprise.
No.
So here we are for a play date.
What? I don't need a playmate.
I mean, this is an okay date.
This is an in no way date.
Well, we've played around to date. You'll recall your unstaged play.
If you press play on this reel for real, dude, I'm pressing stop again.
If you're gonna try and make that play, I suspect you'll be stopped short.
If the umpire's calling me out, I'm gonna strike back with some force.
You're done, Obi-Wan. It's a trilogy. You won't make it home by the rule of threes.
You'll huff and you'll puff, but I'll block you with brick.
Third time's the charm. Expelliarmus split wick.
Avada Kedavra, your prefix are late. Now you've got word as your only playmate.
Au contraire, wrong fair you're using to spar a Quidditch Pro Bowl on your nimble guitar.
Lame, Tokari, Hugari, Ponair aren't the same.
Un ultra for your over, let's do it again. It's bien to see that you're using your brain.
It's bueno to see that you're losing your breath.
Your strings are still smoking, I'm choking to death.
Not that you'd know it the way that you play, but there's something forgiving in multiple takes.
You take and you take, but prepare to refund. Your licked for your licks play was just station 1.
I'll fight to the end, all the way to 11.
St. Nigel is plugging his ears up in heaven. You're pacing and your racer lost. You know you've twice been beat.
It's you who's gonna taste exhaust. Prepare to feel defeat.
Why are you taking off your shoes?
I'm on my toes, I got a lot of foes to beat.
I suppose your foe is it when you're up on your feet?
I would never flee the scene when I'm out on the beat.
Okay, Watson, get back to Baker Street.
The baker can take it, I think you better leave. There's too many cooks who can't handle the heat.
I can more than bear heat, whether R or a T. Pull your tail up and exit pursued in parentheses.
Oh no, another burn by the bard. I can't bear to be beat by the battling star.
The beat in the theater's more shrewd when it grows, unless the pause is pregnant. Oh.
I can't quite see it, but you're making the scene. That's deadpan for me. Did you mean?
Here's
You won't pass the poly unless you're both beat. Prepare for ensnarement.
Whoa! Hey, whoa! You don't expect the detective to do it.
There are clues in the ruse you can use to intuit. Gotta look at the book in your hand. It's well read.
I am a brain, as Sherlock has said. The rest of me's a mere appendix.
Your Honor, I move to remove the defendant.
Objection, the plaintiff is beating the witness. Miss Clover has clearly put drums on a hit list.
Don't be so witless. You see that I'm kitless. My incorporation is none of your business.
I'm having my own corporealization. My corpse will be outlived by my creation.
You want to be frank, put your appendix to work. Write an afterword for your afterword. Start with the art in your head.
And make it into concrete fact. And then when you're gone and dead,
Artifact will bring you back.
we can fall from the stars and still make an impact.
If I can survive the landing intact. I'm on a new stage from the Voms or the flagpole, but it's staged like she wasn't in the last castle.
You're on a stage, but you might beat it yet. You can't really know while you're still on the ledge.
I join them in a twist. I feel like a mannequin.
How'd you get a know twixt your body and your sister twin?
Neither side's right with a double-edged blade.
One has to deduce when the world's a stage. However improbable what's left is what's right.
Those mirroring marks are a farcical sight.
Life is a ball or a dream or a weight, so grab it from Atlas. Take over the place.
Plan it, schman it. It's not what I'm planning.
You'd settle for a village or a villa or a hamlet?
We know where we are, but know not where we may be. A game or a place that we beat without saving.
Oh, feel you there, but if you didn't leave a mark, you can at least die being true to your art. And high on the stage, the unknowing people will see when you're put on your proven most regal.
Good lord, your own soapbox is growing quite feeble. I'm exiting now. I pray you go with. I've given the axe, it's time that you give.
I'm felled from the stage. Now how will I live?
Where there's wood, there's a way. I'm sure you'll survive.
Survive.
Just Let me have this. I'm supposed to go study with Syndra.
Ah, the close contriver of your harms.
No, that would be me. I asked if I could. For all my charms, I somehow double my toil and trouble.
Well, worthy Thane of Verton, how you gonna turn the stakes before you get burned?
There's only one girl who can ease us through this devil's snare.
Akira.
It's time for lo-fi hip-hop beats to study / relax.
Isabel Dreaming on Sessions from Studio A. We've been hearing from their concept album A is for Ella. And that is all the time we have for this week's show. So for the rest of the story, you'll have to head over to Spotify and Apple Music to hear the rest of the album. A is for Ella is streaming on those services, and you can follow Isabel Dreaming on Instagram and Facebook. Also, be sure to head over to WNIJ.org to find behind-the-scenes video from this performance. Sessions from Studio A is produced at WNIJ Studios by yours truly and Mike Lundgren. I'm Spencer Tritt, and thanks for joining me here on Sessions from Studio A.